Bullying is in the news quite a bit, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about how cyberbullying can impact teens' mental health. There's a lot of evidence that shows it can dramatically increase anxiety, depression, and suicidal thoughts. So we'll explore all of that in this video. All right. As with a lot of what we're doing when we're talking about teenagers and mental health, we want to be discussing, again, implications for the actual, what it's doing to the brain itself. So we'll cover that. We also want to be looking at cyberbullying versus regular bullying. And cyberbullying appears to be more dangerous. So we'll have a discussion about why that is, what's going on there. And how's it going to impact the emotionality of teenagers and depression, anxiety, how that's related to the emotionality in cyberbullying, and then how do we help teenagers address the concerns and the issues and not become a victim of the negative emotional trap that cyberbullying really lays on teenagers. So we'll cover all those things in this video. So imagine bullying. Traditional sense, you're a student, maybe you look different, your size is different, whatever, but you have a kid who's going to be mean to you, corner you, pick on you, push you. What's that do? It activates the fear, the amygdala, right? So you're under stress all the time. You're wondering, you're looking around corners, you're trying to figure out how to leave early. You've seen it in movies, you've seen it wherever. That is what's happening when kids are bullied. They're constantly under stress. When that amygdala is always active and cortisol is being cranked out, it's not good for your body. It's not good for your mental health, right? Fear, living in fear all the time. Imagine that, right? Just imagine that. And that's what happens for kids who are being bullied. Now, in this traditional sense of bullying, what happens? Well, all right, they're going to try to find another way out so they can avoid the bully. They look to always be with their crowd, always trying to be within the crowd so maybe the bully won't single them out or find them. Going to the cafeteria, maybe they find reasons to eat in a teacher's room or somewhere else, right? They're looking over their shoulder all the time, but they are trying to find ways to avoid. Don't use the bathroom at all because the bullies might be there, right? These sort of things playing out. But there's that chance that the student can avoid the bully. Cyberbullying, there's no chance. This is what makes it so much more insidious and so much more dangerous. It's out there on the internet, and other people following it. It gets in the Snapchats and all the social medias. People begin to share it and laugh and make comments and blah, 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 blah. It keeps going on. You go home and it's there. Wherever your phone is, it could be there. Kids don't know how to escape it. They don't know how to leave it behind. That's where the danger of cyberbullying increases because you're under that stress longer, more consistently over days, potentially weeks. That's going to play into the emotionality, what you're feeling, and greatly increases the risk of anxiety and depression and suicidal thoughts. Twice as likely to have suicidal thoughts and actions, right? To actually proceed and try to commit suicide. The way I can best explain this or share it is a story. So there's a young lady who somebody who was a tech person wanted to kind of get in with the right peer group or whatever, but he was able to take an image that he had captured of this young woman that, whatever reason he chose her, I don't really know, but he took this picture and was able to use technology. It took pornographic picture and imposed her into the pornographic picture and then showed it to his friends, right? Just kind of, hey, look, this picture, look what so-and-so is doing. And they put it out on social media. Well, you can just imagine, right? What does that do? What's the reputation now for this young lady? What's happened to that? How are people looking at her and treating her? And as it begins to spread and the news goes out, it goes out beyond just that school little circle. It starts going to neighboring towns and neighboring communities. There's no escape for this young woman who tries to deny it, but even her friends begin to kind of go, oh, geez, that really, I remember at that party, you and so like disappeared for a little while. Is that when this picture kind of happened? This student began to kind of remove herself, separate herself from even her friend group. There wasn't that emotional support. She's eating by herself now, cafeteria. She goes home, she's in tears. She's by herself. That loneliness creeps in. The stress is amped up. She can't sleep. With lack of sleep, as we've said in other videos, that snowballs everything. Her grades begin to suffer. Her experience on the soccer team, she's now like not even really welcome there. Her people are kind of separating themselves from her. Imagine, what do you think this person finally begins to do? Starts thinking about suicide, thinking about it over and over. The more she thinks about it, the more she sees that's the only potential way out. She attempts suicide. All because one student, for whatever warped reason, decided he's going to play a joke by superimposing her image into a pornographic picture and basically made a wreck of her life for months. That is maybe an extreme case, but that is what's happening in schools all over the place with cyberbullying and the impact of social media. All right, so what did this family and school system do for this young lady who had attempted suicide? Well, obviously, she needed some counseling therapy, and cognitive behavioral therapy is a very powerful and very effective tool. Got her in the habit of journaling and really trying to reflect on some of the negative thoughts and what gets blown out. And a lot of what happens with this are irrational fear. And what I mean by that is people can project in their own mind the worst case scenario. And it's that projection of worst case scenarios that really magnify everything. They literally blow things out of proportion. And a lot of their fear and anxiety are about the things they're imagining people saying and doing and believing. That does not dismiss what is actually happening, but the process of trying to just validate what really is real and accurate with what is blown up can help kind of get a little bit more control over reality versus the extreme. So cognitive behavioral therapy, that sort of therapy, but beyond that, mindset training for kids in general. And when you have an encompassing mindset training, you minimize the likelihood of bullying happening in the first place, right? You absolutely minimize the spread of a situation like this where people tend to be less likely to then take this image they've seen and share it with other people when they've had a really thorough mindset training, because that involves values where you would go, no, this isn't happening. So then there's habits around your own emotional care, positive reinforcement of belief systems, your value, understanding where that really comes from. All of that is going to be an effective tool to both minimize the risk of being a victim of cyberbullying and how to properly and healthily deal with it if you are a victim of it. I could have gone a lot longer with this video about cyberbullying. It's an important topic. I really hope you take some important information out of this. I encourage you to subscribe to our channel. Check out our other videos. In particular, you might want to check out the video, how does teenage sleep impact their mental health? So check that video out today and tune in to another one.